Hi, everyone. So, in the series of reworking and rebuilding my workshop and creating a base, I'm taking you guys through the process of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So, as you've seen in the other episode in the electronics room, where I changed how the entire layout was and refocus on what I needed it to be going forward, I also have another room, namely my former spray room. Years ago, I thought I needed a space where I could spray paint stuff that I worked on. However, over the years, it became less and less of a spray room and more of a storage room. This was because my work has drastically changed in the past 10 years, going from 3D printing and developing things for promotional stuff, mostly to working in the financial sector and now doing something else entirely. However, this change has made it so that I have a lot more free time and I have the ability to work on stuff again and make videos like this. But as I've been thinking over and over on how I should change my workshop, I came to the realization that I don't really need a spray room anymore, especially if I'm going to be focusing on what I will be doing, cars. It makes more sense for me to, when I need it, create a clean room with plastic sheets a la Dexter, or just rent a space when needed. But what I will need is a place to store my bigger printers and store some of my car stuff that I don't use regularly. There, this is a bit zoomed out, so I hope this makes a bit more sense. This entire room, going from left to right, is about 2.5 meters. This corner from that corner is about 4 or 5-ish. So, what's the plan for this room? Now, first of all, we have a lot of storage stuff there that needs to get sorted ASAP. We need to take stuff out, put stuff back in, and most entirely just, clean this entire room up so it actually looks decent. Over there is a box with old 1969 Mustang parts because they were good in theory, but practically they're not good. Like a good example of that is these lights that I have here. Let me just show you. These lights. These are the original 1969 lights. They're quite rare these days. So I kept them, didn't throw them away, but due to European regulations of how a light should be, how it should react, refract with other people on the road, yada, yada. There's a lot of guidelines on it. So I had to get new ones, but I still chose to, keep them as a keepsake. Now we also have loads of older stuff in here. Anybody who's familiar with resin 3D printing might actually know what this baby is. This used to be for a Formlabs Form 2 where you can put the build plate on and you can clean it. Right now, this is like 10 to 15-year-old technology, so it's useless. Now, that's just regular stuff. Like I used to have pets. Unfortunately, they're no longer with me. And lots and lots of nerdy books, like how mechanics work from fancy things. Like, yeah, I used to be a nerd as a kid with mechanics and stuff, and apparently it translates to cars. Who knew? So, and over here we have a stack of, well, basically my my first ever blown tire. I blew this one at 120 kilometers an hour, which is, I believe, around 60 miles-ish. I had a double blowout on the back because my car was a barn find. And because of that, you had the original tire still on there, which at the time I did not know you actually have to change once every 5 years. I just knew like, oh, you have to change the threads if they wear out. But, the threads here are still, nice and thick. They're like half centimeter-ish, I'd say. So the threads were good. The rubber wasn't. So that kind of blew on me a long time ago. And over here, I still have another set of original Mach 1 rims. So I have an entire set of Mach 1 rims, plus one extra because the guy before me thought, you know what? I don't want a spare tire. I want a full tire to bring back. And yeah, so now I have 5 of very rare rims. Check out eBay. But yeah, we're basically gonna head on and clean this room. So let's get cracking. The room is about 3 by 2.5 meters or 10 by 8-ish feet. And the good part about this is that it used to be a cooling cell. So this room basically was a big ass refrigerator, so it's very well insulated. Which, if you work with bit printers, you'll know is a very big plus because you want to control the temperature in the room. As a lot of people build enclosures for their printers, but in this room I can basically set the temperature and have it work. It also has some direct tubing leading to the outside, so I could possibly also help airflow or do something else in ventilation when I decide to put big printers in here, like resin printers. But first I need to change a couple of things. As you can see, in the past years of not using this room, it changed into a F it, let's just park it here for now room. Which ended up meaning, yeah, it got packed with stuff. So first off, let's just clean the room itself. And this gives me absolutely no segue in my part about sponsorships, but again, I'd like to thank my sponsor for this episode, which is basically just you guys. By subscribing to me, liking and sharing my videos with friends, or through Patreon, you guys make it possible for me to do what I love. So thank you guys. It actually means the world to me that you are actually taking your time to watch my videos. And again, thank you. Next up is making sure we have outlets where we can plug our printers and heating and everything else into. As I'm using an electronic panel that actually heats up, I'll need some outlets all over the place. And as I've looked right now, I think I can get away with putting 3 double outlets in the room. Making sure that the printers have a dedicated plug and place, and also in case a printer shorts or something goes wrong in the rest of the workshop, and a fuse triggers a fuse box, at least everything will be isolated from other groups. So my printing room and my electronics room are both on different groups. So if something goes wrong in my printing room or in my workshop, my electronics room will be okay. And if something goes wrong in my workshop, vice versa. Now to put in basic lines and I have lights, I thought I could initially live with having the wires just being held like this, but yeah, my autism kicked in and I had to fix this because every time I came into this room is just driving me crazy. So I got some simple black channels just to make the room a bit more tidy. Here on the left I will be putting my storage. This is where I'll be storing my resin, my filament, and my wheels. As like most people, I have multiple sets I run depending on what time of year it is. And in some European countries, you can even get pulled over to see if you have indeed winter-approved tires or have decent summer tires. And seeing the cars I drive, I tend to get pulled over quite a bit as I don't really blend in. But right now, my winter tires are just stacked on top of one another and they can deform the rim if you store them like that. So let's add a storage dedicated to just the tires here, because here they won't really be in the way and the temperature is regulated in this room, so I at least know that part is right. So in order to do this, I got the cheapest possible storage rack that was on Amazon, and yeah, as you can see, it works. Next to the door, we'll have the tire storage, as this is the part where the wind can pick up and you don't want a printer in a spot that, could get a cold draft because that can affect your prints. Next to that, we're getting the MakerBot Z18, as this is usually the workhorse I have and use for almost every project I have. And here we're keeping a spot open to hopefully in the future place the Elegoo Giga Orange Storm. As this baby is big and thick, it would also help into, making actually full-sized car parts. Hashtag not sponsored, hashtag could be sponsored, hashtag Elegoo hit me up. By the way, if anyone of you is interested in getting a 3D printer from Elegoo, there's a link down below in the description that is my affiliate link thingy stuff for Elegoo. So if you want one, check the link out. But I can also hear everybody who's seeing this video scream from the very beginning that, Oh, that's mold on top. No, it's soot. Um, I believe we once had a fire in here, like ages ago. As you can see, some of the styrofoam is actually eating away due to heat. And to be fair, like there's no moisture here whatsoever. So whatever mold is in there is all long and dead, but I do believe it's soot. So I'll just most likely end up, pasting some form of drywall up in there just to make it look a little bit more tidy. But for now, it works. So, just to do a little rundown of how much this has all cost me, because, yeah. So for lighting, I just got a very cheap LED light with an armature for about 12 bucks. For the wheel storage, it cost me about 40 to 42 bucks. The electronics and wiring cost me 70 bucks for a 4-lane electrical wire. The outlet cost me 15 bucks each, so it's about 45 total, and the little plastic wiring boxes cost me 5 bucks a piece, ending in 15 bucks. So in total, I have this entire room done for under 170 bucks. And if you look at the before and after, it's an extreme difference. So I hope that after seeing this, you guys will also be inspired to, do the thing that's on your list for so long, or using an old room or an old project to see if it could be very simple or cheap solution to actually make it into something you like again, or useful. I can't wait to actually start printing stuff again and work on several projects ranging from cars to miniatures and anything in between. Again, thank you guys for following me on this journey so far. I really appreciate all the positive feedback I've received, and you guys mean the world to me. You make it possible for me to actually do this stuff and do what I love. So thank you to all my subscribers, my Patreon supporters, my followers, everybody you guys that are watching. You guys make it possible for me to make these kinds of videos, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. So here you guys can see the entire room is cleaned up. It's ready to receive the 3D printers. The tire storage is in there, and as of right now, that's all we need to do. We got to move the 3D printers in here, and that's it. And next up will be the tool room. As you guys can see, as of right now, it's a mess. Mostly because I just didn't do a good job cleaning it after the last time I used it. But I also need to come up with a more practical storage plan. Look at what tools need to be where, what tools need to go into the cart, and stuff like that. But let's tackle that one in the next video. So stay tuned and let me know what you guys want to see, what you guys want to see me build, and I'll see you guys next time.